accepted and really understood that, yes, I am autistic, right? I took one of the diagnostic tests and scored very high, like very, very high for neurodivergence and autism. So I accepted that, right? I accepted it as like a label, as like the caveat to the things I was trying to do with life. And I realized at the beginning of 2023, like, no, this actually impacts my life in almost every way, and especially the PDA aspect of autism. So when I started to understand that and look into how I experience life in every moment through the lens of autism, meaning that I am centering autism in my life. Not because it's like it is. Being autistic and moving through the world the way I do, with the mindset that I have and the differences and the uniquenesses that I have, it colors every minute of every day of my life. There is no other way to see or to be than to be autistic. So I allowed that to take center stage, and then I kind of watched in each moment how it played out with awareness, being aware of it, right? And I realized how far-reaching it is. It impacts every experience I have in every minute of every day. And so I took that and I just honored it to the fullest, especially when it comes to maintaining a regulated nervous system. It's the key to everything. And I honestly think that's important for all human beings, but especially for me. I have developed an aversion to a dysregulated nervous system. Like, you think, like the way a pregnant woman vomits when she smells the wrong thing. Like, I have an aversion, a physical aversion to nervous system dysregulation. So I create my life and my lifestyle around maintaining a regulated nervous system. It is the core of my parenting, is teaching my kids how to maintain their regulation in their nervous systems. It is the leading, like, motion through life, because when I'm regulated, my capacity rises exponentially. When I'm dysregulated, my capacity tanks exponentially. And this can fluctuate in the matter of minutes or hours or days. And so being able to navigate that and to find a way to regulate when I'm dysregulated is the key to success in my life, right? And so when over the course of 2023, when I was looking forward to being able to build a long-lasting connection with someone, I realized that I have to center my nervous system regulation even within the context of connection and relationship. And that took a lot of introspection. That took a lot of thinking and processing over the course of the whole year. And when I found myself falling in love, I remember going like, because the feeling of falling in love can be dysregulating in and of itself. And so I was in that state, and so I'm like, okay, how do I maintain nervous system regulation in the throes of falling in love, right? And because the type of connection that my wife and I have, I felt comfortable and safe asking them that question and seeing how they view it. How do they view this issue or this challenge, especially considering they're neurodivergent as well? Like, they gave the best answer. You can't water someone else's garden while weeds are growing in your own. That was it. That was perfect. Basically, you have to maintain your own independent systems of regulation. They do the same, and together you honor that process and you center that process in the context of your connection, right? So as the two of us are growing and evolving with time, nervous system regulation is at the core of everything. If we need space to isolate, to regulate, we can do that. If we need co-regulation and the other person has the capacity, we do that. We check in and ask what our capacity is in each moment. We process together. And the amount of peace and ease and calm and regulation that is experienced in our connection is unmatched. And one thing I noticed with myself, this is the first connection I've honestly ever had where I didn't need alcohol to soothe the tension that I felt in connection with the other person. First time ever. I had looked into, over the course of the year, the relationship between people with autism and their relationship with alcohol. And it's really interesting. It's a self-medicating type of dynamic. A lot of, especially when you're unaware of how your body's moving and responding, and you just feel a lot of tension and you feel anxious and you feel stressed. And so turning to substances, turning to alcohol is a really common way of soothing that. It doesn't help anything. It doesn't heal anything. It doesn't actually regulate you. It just numbs you. It kind of feels like it shuts off the. You feel like you can be yourself. You feel like you can be yourself under the influence of alcohol, which makes socializing easier. So getting to know someone, building a connection, building a relationship, physical intimacy, all of those things are easier when you're drinking. And it may sound simple, but it's a slippery slope into addiction. So a lot of autistic people have to stop drinking in order to actually heal and be well. That was one of the things that I had looked into over the year. But in the course of this connection, I realized that I don't have any desire. I don't feel like I need anything to calm me or to soothe me or to help facilitate unmasking, because the dynamic we've cultivated centers that nervous system regulation all the time, and we create regulation within ourselves and we create regulation together. And there's no need for substances. I don't need to be drunk or high. Like I create my own bliss on my own anyway. I don't need substances to feel amazing and euphoric on my own. But also, I don't need that. I haven't needed that. I don't need that at all from like the beginning of even getting to know this person all the way through to saying I do and being married. Like, I've never experienced this amount of regulation and connection with another person ever. And I was very worried earlier in the year that when I did fall in love with somebody, that I would be completely dysregulated and it would throw all of my healing off. I was really worried about that. Not so much that I was going to shy away from experiences and close the door on relationships, but enough, I was concerned enough to be like, all right, I have to check in with myself as I'm feeling these feelings growing. I have to put a plan in place. So being able to understand those mechanisms within myself and being able to cultivate a space in relationship with another person where nervous system regulation is the core of the connection, that was learned and practiced and developed